And action. Well, how do you do, buckaroos? Boy, I had a heck of a time getting this one started. So I've got one I thought I did a video for the other day, but I guess I didn't, or I lost it somehow, or it might have been one of those I did with the webcam that the audio was so bad I had to get rid of. Who remembers now? It was a long week. So anyway, hey, I've got 6 Degrees chocolate porter ale brewed with cocoa nibs from Public House Brewing Company, Rolla, St. James, Missouri, 5.1%. I don't have the IBUs. I didn't look up anything on their website. I just thought I'd wing this one. But I am using a Public House glass. How about that? It's a nice glass. They do say on this bottle here, though, chocolate, roast, frost, fireplace, warming, bellyful. Random words for no apparent reason, I guess. It also says serving temp 50 to 55 degrees. Well, I got this out probably a good 15 minutes ago, took some pictures, and it took so long to get this set up. But it's probably close to about 50 degrees at this point. Oh, it's very nice. Wow, the aroma is great on this. Now, I had heard that they use Askinosie chocolate, but again, I didn't. My wife's making faces at me in the background. She is not supportive of my art. But I don't know that for a fact, so there you go. I did have the Chocolate Thunder Nitro Porter last night. They were making faces behind me. It's tough. It's tough. See what I have to work with? I can't work like this, man. Now she's showing me her boobs. Oh, no. Anyways, yeah, I had the Mother's Chocolate Thunder Nitro Porter last night. This one has a very similar aroma. You really can't feel those big chocolate notes. It's very creamy, almost like there's hints of vanilla mixed up in there as well. Let's take a drink, shall we?
Yes, we are.
Doing some sexual innuendo behind me.
Behind you.
In front. Anyways, a lot of big chocolate up front. I'm also getting some not so subtle coffee notes. Not necessarily big, but they're not really subtle either. Somewhere kind of rounding out that chocolate. Now, I feel some sweetness on the nose. Again, I was getting hints of vanilla. I'm not necessarily getting that on the flavor though. It's a beautiful chocolate porter. Yeah, you gotta love it. Chocolate's kind of been a big thing in beer. I mean, it's not necessarily new, but over the last few years, it's been used more and more. I don't know. Last year, I think everybody had a chocolate peanut butter beer. This year, it seems to be chocolate and coconut. But here is just a good classic chocolate porter from Public House. What Public House does well is they just do styles. They are, how do I say this right? They are just stylistically sound. Nothing is necessarily out of the box. Most of their stuff is, sessionable ABV, not necessarily session at 4% or even 4.5%, whichever way you lean on that argument. But they do a lot of lower ABV stuff. Everything is very drinkable, very sessionable beers. But, I mean, they're just stylistically perfect, and that's one thing I love about Public House. I was there a few months ago, and, I guess one of the owners, they had recently partnered with St. James Winery, so I don't know what his actual title is now, but he kind of showed me there were some other folks there. I think his father-in-law was there. And they got a little tour of the tanks and stuff. It was kind of neat, and got to sample a couple of things. But it's just a nice, friendly, brew pub, a small brewery. They've got 2 locations, one in Rolla, one in St. James, Missouri. And it's one of those things, it's not really a destination, but it could be on your way to a lot of things. So if you're ever passing through St. Louis, maybe you're on your way to Springfield, go ahead and stop into that brewery there, because they're just doing some fine brews. I guess wife and I ate there the one time, but they were changing their menu, so I really can't speak to the food other than I've heard it was very good out there. But the beers are solid and the people are friendly and knowledgeable, and that's what I like about the joint. Got to get that in the right spot for you there. I'm having problems. Having problems today. There we go. Good enough. Trying to see what else I'm picking up here. Again, there are subtle notes of vanilla and coffee. Again, coffee not as subtle, but you know what I mean. It's kind of mixed in there with all that chocolate going on. The hops are just kind of earthy right at the end, just enough to clean her up, but it's not very sweet anyway. It's not one of those sweet chocolate beers that we've all had. Body's kind of light to medium. It's very easy drinking. It's very approachable. This would be a beer I would venture to give non-craft beer drinkers for them to try something, because it's not necessarily any heavier than what they've been used to drinking. It just has a lot more flavor. The problem is when you're talking with folks like that, a lot of them are just so convinced that dark beers are heavy that they don't want to give them a chance. And if you can convince them to try it, most cases they like it. I've done that with my sister, where she's gotten to where she's a little more willing to try once I've got her convinced that dark doesn't necessarily mean heavy. A while back, what was it now? It was a Schwartz beer for mothers that she liked, but I think this is one that she would like because it's not heavy and just subtle notes of chocolate and coffee. I think she would like, and I think that's why a lot of you're getting a lot of niche craft beer drinkers. Started off with guys like me that just wanted better beer, but now you're finding niche craft beer drinkers where they just want a specific style. Sours being one of them. A lot of them only want sours. A lot of folks, I've talked to people that will only drink IPAs. Some may want just a beer like this, just some kind of solid porter. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. That's why craft beer is so great. It just gives you so many choices. For a long time, people thought beer had to taste one way, and now we know it doesn't. It doesn't. If that's what you like to drink, that's fine. That's not an issue. But beer doesn't have to taste that way. Beer can take a lot of different directions. It's kind of just a beautiful finish. It's not a very effervescent beer, but it's just enough just to keep it tight, make it slightly dry the finish. Again, chocolate, hints of coffee, vanilla. It just put together perfectly. I didn't mean to drink it so quick, but it just went down quicker than a Tijuana hooker. Do you see that? This is Tom the Beer Whisperer, and we'll talk to you later. Wow, that was tasty.